should have all this set up before I go live, but it never seems to be where I want it. So good morning, Facebook family. This is Marcia Baltimore with Red Table Real Estate Talk. And this particular segment is sponsored by Marcia Baltimore Realty. And I just wanted to go live instead of recording because I just wanted to see how this would work out versus I guess posting or recording. I'm not getting a whole lot of feedback on the recordings, although I am getting lots of views. But I would really like some interaction of sorts. So anyway, let's try this. First of all, I want to ask, how are you all doing? What have you done for yourself lately to take care of yourself? Hey, Chris. What have you done for yourself lately to take care of yourself? What have you done? What have you done good for yourself lately? And when I say what have you done good for yourself, doesn't necessarily mean like spending money. Like, have you eaten well lately? Are you putting good food in your body? Fruits and vegetables. I'm not trying to be your mom, but the older I get, the more I'm realizing that caring for yourself is a form of loving yourself, is a form of like major self-care. So moving your body, putting good food in your body is a real form of self-care. So what have you done good for yourself? Are you moving your body at least a few times a week? I was just having a conversation with a really good friend of mine, Clifton Burkett, and we were talking about how we get to choose how we age. And you can see the difference between an 80-year-old who sits around after they retire and an 80-year-old who still chooses to move around, either volunteering or just getting outside weekly to take a walk or whatever it is. And I likened it to machinery. It's like if you have equipment, like farm equipment, for example, and it doesn't matter if it's the top of the line equipment or not. When you're using it, then and you're oiling, the joints of it and all of those types of things, then it's gonna work. It might not work at the optimum level that it did when it was brand new, but it will work as long as you're using it. But the moment you put it in, the barn or the shed and you just leave it sitting there, it starts to rust. And the longer you leave it there, the more rust it accrues. And then when you try to use it, just like any of your tools, even gardening tools, when it starts to rust and then you want to use it, then it's really super hard to use it. And your body does the exact same thing. They say sitting is like the next smoking, is like it's just as bad as smoking, and I believe that. You don't even have to be 80. You could be 40 or 50, and if you're sitting too much, you're not exercising, then your body will kind of shut down on you. So you have to. So I'm just asking, what are you doing good for yourself, for your physical health, for your mental health, for your spiritual health? I hope that you're doing something good for yourself every day. Now, real estate. Are you in the real estate market? And if you're not, I understand that it's really tough out there. But I would encourage you to speak to a lender just to see if you could get in the market. Right now, it's super, super tough for first-time home buyers. First-time home buyers are up against lots of investors who are out here scooping up homes with cash, and it feels like an unfair playing field. What I would encourage you to do if you find yourself up against these types of situations is to consider moving further out. I can remember when I first came to North Carolina, and I would consult with first-time home buyers, and they would sit at my table during our buyer consultation and say, I want what I want. And I would have to like kind of bring them down and like set their expectations at a more reasonable level. Meaning, sometimes your expectation when you first go out to buy a house is way up here because you've already been online searching for homes and you've seen things that you've fallen in love with. You have gone to new home communities and you've fallen in love with model homes. And so in your mind, you have this idea of what you want for your home. And you tell yourself, I'm not accepting anything less. But then you go get pre-qualified and you find that your money will not buy you what you have dreamed of. But then you still don't want to accept less. What I want you to do is to reset your expectations, number one. And number two, realize that that's okay. It doesn't say anything less about you. Resetting your expectations and starting small is smart. It's good money management. It's good investment management. It's the way most people start. The people who are out here buying big houses and all the rest of these different things, most of them started small. They didn't start way up here, they started down here. So resetting your expectations makes a lot of sense. Here in Wake County, prices have gone up so high, and when I say Wake County, I mean all of Wake County. If you're trying to buy in Wake County, it's super hard. So if you're trying to stay in Wake County, it's going to be tough if you're a first-time home buyer and your pre-qualification only lends itself to a certain income. If your income does not allow for you to purchase in Wake County, then consider going outside of Wake County. Don't limit yourself to just one area. What you want to do is you want to get in the market. Really, that's what you want to do, because property values in our area are appreciating so quickly that you'll find within a couple of years of living in your home, you can actually turn around and sell that home if that's what you choose to do, and already reap the benefits of the equity that you've built up in that house and go out and purchase you something else that may be closer to Wake County. Or, and this is what I recommend, you can start building your portfolio, your real estate portfolio, and use that property as a rental property. Rent that property out and use whatever income that you're getting from that rental along with the income that you currently make, and then purchase another property. So now you have an investment property in your portfolio and you have your primary home. Again, just an idea, something to think about. But how do you do that? You start small. So something to think about. Another thing to think about is purchasing a property with someone else. Now I have a client and she's pre-qualified, but she's only pre-qualified up to $230,000. Hey, Brett. And she wants to stay in Wake County. Well, unfortunately, she cannot compete with the other people who she's competing against, because again, in that price point, people are scooping up houses with cash. And oh, by the way, when a property does come on the market in that price point, there's so many people making offers that, you know, just because it came up for $230,000, it'll probably sell for, you know, $270,000, $280,000. So your chances of getting a house for what it's actually listed for is slim to none. So my suggestion to her was, well, you know, your mom is also going to be looking for a property as well. Why don't you and her go in on a property together? But she's not interested in that because she doesn't want to live with her mom. My thing is, I get that. I totally 100% get that. But if you do it and you just stay in the house temporarily, again, a short-term thing, 1 year, 2 years, then you both can reap the benefits of how our market is appreciating. I don't know if you saw last week's Red Table Real Estate Talks with Brett Clark and I, but Brett had made a comment about how the appreciation rates in Raleigh from April of 2021 to April of 2022 had gone up like 35%. Ridiculous, unheard of, just bonkers. I mean, imagine that. Imagine your property just appreciating at such a rate that you can just sell it and just like cash in. It's just crazy. Who's to say if that's the same rate? Probably not. We're probably not going to see that rate. But I mean, even if we saw a 10% return on investment year over year, that's still incredible. It's incredible what you can reap if you just get in the market. It's better than you're going to see on a savings account. It's better than you're going to see probably on your stocks. Again, I know nothing about Bitcoin and Forex and all the rest of that different stuff, so I can't tell you anything about that. But what I can tell you is that here in our area, if you get in on the real estate market, your chances of reaping a reward for getting in and then getting out is really high, super high. So when I mentioned that to her, she said she wasn't interested. But what I'm telling you is that if you have that option available to you, maybe it's something that you should consider. A co-signer, if you can get a co-signer, that would be fantastic. That would allow you to have more income available to you, which would allow you to have a larger mortgage, which would give you more options. Let me tell you the other thing that is really, really, really causing a lot of angst among first-time home buyers: cash. Like, you have to have money in the bank. And you're asking why, right? Because if you get pre-qualified for a mortgage, then that should just be good. But it's not, because you also have to have cash in the bank, because you have to write this thing called a due diligence check. And this due diligence check is money that goes to the seller. You pay the seller this amount of money, and you negotiate this amount of money in order for the seller to change the status of their house from active to pending or contingent. And during this due diligence period, that's when you do your due diligence. It means you get the inspections completed. It means you get your financing. Hi, Christine. It means you get your financing secured. It means that you get the radon. It means that you get the septic. It means you get the water tested. It means you get the all the inspections completed. It means you get your survey done. It means the title search is completed. All these things that need to be done to ensure that they can pass good title to you. So all these things need to be done during your due diligence period. Let's say, for example, the reason why that's important, I'm saying that, the reason why that's important, because If there happens to be an encroachment means that if they're next to a neighbor and the neighbor has a fence and the neighbor's fence is on, hi John, and the neighbor's fence is on your property, during this time is when you guys can get all that straightened out. Or if during the title search they find out, the title company finds out that there's an heir that has claim to this property, then we learn during that period of time that, you know, the seller can't even pass title. So these are like not the encroachments, but like, you know, some of these other things might be rare occurrences, but they, you know, they've happened, right? So all these things happen during your due diligence period, but you have to pay the seller a certain amount of money in order for you to do your due diligence to get that stuff worked out. Well, the amount of money that you have to pay the seller is ridiculous right now. So a few years ago, you used to could pay a couple $1,000s. I'm just going to say 4-digit amounts of money. Now, the amounts of money are anywhere from $10,000 to, I don't know, I've heard up to $100,000, but you know, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 is not unheard of in due diligence, depending on what area you're purchasing a house in. So do you have that kind of money sitting in the bank? Because this is a check that you have to write as soon as your offer is accepted. So what's knocking a whole lot of people out of contention is they don't have enough cash in the bank for the due diligence amount. So if the house is on the market for $300,000 and there's multiple offers and you did the right thing and offered above asking price, and let's just say that you offered, $35,000 above because you were pre-qualified and you're able to do that and you're feeling really good about that. But all you have in the bank is $10,000 to offer the seller for due diligence. Well, in your mind, you think that's really, really good, right? But in this market, $10,000 is like $1,000 back in, 2018. Because these days, buyers are coming to the table with, like I said, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. And so the thing that's like knocking your offer off the table is the due diligence amount. So it's tough. So that's the other reason why, like, the closer you're into Wake County, the tougher it is, because that's where those amounts go like high, high, high. The further out you go, like the less, stringent those kinds of things are. Although that's changing too. Because everybody knows that, it's harder and harder and harder to get like here in the triangle where people are trying to be. So everybody's creeping out. And as they're creeping out, those due diligence amounts are going up as well. Hey, Shayla. So, new construction. Some builders are requiring buyers to compete as well. It used to be, if you went to a new builder, you could just go, how you doing, love? Good morning. If you went to a new construction, if you went to a builder and you found a house and you put down a deposit, that house was yours. Doesn't work that way with a lot of builders these days. With a lot of builders, once they release a house, and many builders aren't even releasing houses, en masse anymore. When they get the materials on site, that's when they start building, and then they'll release a few lots at a time. And then when they do release them, they have like a list of people who are already registered, and the salespeople will contact those people and say, hey, these houses will be released on this date, and the first person the first people to bring in offers, they'll say, you know, we're going to have it open until this day. Bring in your best offer. So it's like, it's just like resale now, you know, final and best by this date. So they'll have a price up there, but that's not necessarily the final price. There are a few builders, you know, I don't know, very few, who will actually contract on a price and not force you to bid. But there aren't that many. They're few and far between. So you just really have to, you know, pick and choose. If you haven't already hired a buyer's agent, don't try to go this alone, especially for new construction. That may surprise you. It may surprise you that you actually need an agent for new construction in more cases than you need it for resale. But you do need a real estate agent to help you navigate the new construction, because there are a whole lot of things that happen during the new construction game that you may not even know to ask, you may not know to do, and your agent will help you navigate that. You don't lose anything by hiring a real estate agent, but you gain so much, and protection is the most. That's what you gain the most, and that's what you want. You want representation and you want protection. And you have to understand that when you go into these new home communities, that the person that you're speaking with, the very nice, happy, go lucky, welcoming sales rep that you're speaking with represents the builder. And the truth is, they're supposed to tell you that the moment you walk in and sit down and talk to them. They probably won't, but they should tell you that they represent the interest of the builder. And that won't come out until you go under contract many times. But they don't represent your interests. They represent the interest of the builder. And you need somebody who's going to represent your best interest. So find someone who cares about you and your best interest and will guide you and lead you and send you to the right lender, because I have a whole lot of things to say about builders and their lenders and the money that they offer in closing costs. Just an aside, when a builder offers closing costs, if you use their lender, remember that the builder and the lender are in bed together. So don't forget to ask your lender whether or not that's something that they can match, because oftentimes it is, and they can tell you how they can match it. But nothing is for free. So they don't just give you $3,000 or $5,000. It's worked into your interest rate and all different types of other things. So nothing is for free. Don't ever believe that anything is for free, because it's not. You're paying for it in some way, shape, or form. So I just wanted to get on here and run my mouth and, you know, just kind of give you a few nuggets, because I hadn't been on here for a little bit, and see if I can capture your attention. So I got a few of you, but not too many. But I hope you all are having a great day and a great week, and I will chat with you soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and please do something good for yourself today. Eat something good. Get some vitamin D by going outside, enjoying that sunshine, and move your body. Move your body at least 3 times a week, 20 to 30 minutes a day. All right. Peace out. Red Table Real Estate Talk out. Bye-bye.